What's going on, everybody? Good morning. It's the 18th of July. Uh, I thought I would clarify. I got a comment from the gentleman. So I thought I'd clarify real quick. Because I rewatched, I know my last video. And I'm not telling anybody to come here. I'm not telling, do I like what I've seen so far? Yeah, I do. The two gentlemen I've referenced in previous videos, joking with them about coming here, I know these gentlemen. We've spoken for a very long time. The last one, in the last video, I just had a phone conversation with him in reference to what's going on with him, what's going on with me, and what I said in the video was a joke in reference to that conversation, so maybe I should have clarified that in the video. Hence his comment with the laughing emojis. I'm not out here recruiting for anybody. Do I think Schneider's a good company? They're as good as any other company. They have their ups and downs. They're a little corporate in their safety. They can be a little stringent when it comes to the safety. I'm not complaining because I haven't been pulled into a scale yet, and that's reflective of their CSA standing. But again, I'm not telling anybody to come over here. This is a different program. A lot of these programs, and I've looked at more than one, you can be a lease driver paying for the truck, but you're still being dispatched like a company driver. TLI is a dedicated company. You can go into the lease program with them. A lot of guys, I'm sure, do real well in it, especially on the team side, from what I've heard. But you are dispatched, and you don't have the ability to say no. You do have the ability to tell them, when you want to be home, and they'll get you there when they get you there, because it's still up to them. You're dispatched just like a company driver, and I get it. It's a dedicated company. They're dedicated accounts. I've looked at U.S. Express's walk-away. That's a glorified company driver position. I don't know anything about DART's program. I don't know anything about any other company's program, but I do know what I'm experiencing here. And what I'm experiencing here is not been bad. I haven't been so much as a boo on the Qualcomm about anything, because as long as you're doing your job, you should never have to talk to them unless you need a pickup number or something to that effect that wasn't in the information that you received. It's possible. It happens. So yeah, I'm not recruiting for anybody. And what I said in that video, and I've said in the previous video, there were jokes directed toward certain people. Do I like the fact that I get to pick my own loads? That I got a load board I can look at? Yeah, I really do. Is it a lot to learn? Yes, it is. I'm still learning the customer base. I'm still learning what loads are consistent and what aren't consistent loads. I mean, I got a lot to learn to get to the point where it gets easier. It's not easy right now. I'm on the load board every day. Every single day, all the time, trying to look for similarities in freight so that I can figure out the areas I can go. They're going to pay me well enough to pay for what I got to pay for and make money. And I'm going to be learning this for a while. I'm just getting started. Yeah, you are correct. I am wet behind the ears. But I'm not telling anybody to come over here. I said it in the last video. I wouldn't tell anybody to go somewhere, because if they got there and it didn't work for them, I'd feel bad. Because they made a move based on what I suggested. I was joking with the gentleman. He knows I was joking with the gentleman, or joking with him. It's just what it was. And I'm sorry if I didn't clarify it in the video. Now, as far as how I pick freight, I don't base what I pick off the highest dollar amount. That would be asinine on my part. The load I'm getting ready to go get here in a couple hours, there were 3 loads I was looking at. This is the lowest paying of the 3. And the reason I took it is because, 1, it's not very heavy. 2, it pays decent. 3, where it's going, I'm not climbing hills with the load, so I'm looking at fuel savings. Fuel price, where I'm going to be running this load, are lower than the other 2 areas that I would have went to. There's a lot of factors I look at, and it also comes down to what's coming out of the area I'm going to. The other 2 loads paid better, but one of them I would have had to have deadheaded over 200 miles to get another load, because there was nothing around that area. It was in the middle of nowhere. So I had to take that into account. So effectively, that load paid better, but by the time I factored in deadhead to go get another load, and the loads I was finding 200 miles out didn't pay well at all, so I would have lost money. I would have lost money on that load compared to what I'm going to make just on this load. The other load, where it went, there was freight coming out, but it didn't pay anything. I mean, it didn't pay anything. I mean, we're talking freight coming out of that area was, I think the best I seen was $1.19 or $1.21 a mile, and that was not including the deadhead to go from delivery to the shipper. So yeah, I'm looking at all those factors. The load I have now paid less than those 2, but in the end would pay about the same after you factor in all those other things. And that second load was going to an area, again, where fuel prices are high. Could I have gotten enough cheap fuel to get in and out of there? Probably. But I decided not to take the load. It didn't make sense, and there was more miles. So in the end, if you looked at all 3 of those loads, what I picked was the lowest paying of the 3, but it essentially became equal to what I would have made on those by the time you factored in all the other things. And I'm getting a load. I already have a load book coming out of where I'm delivering to. It pays pretty good. And it stays in the area I want to run. And that's the other thing I factor in. Because there are a lot of high-paying loads that go into eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey. I don't want to run there. I got no desire to run there. If I have to, will I? Yes. Yes, I will. But I haven't seen a load that paid that good to where I wanted to go to that area. Not when I can make the money I need to make where I'm already running. My goal is eventually to learn the customer base well enough to where I know if I go here, there's a good chance that this company I picked up before, that load will be there. Those are the things I'm going to learn and the things I'm going to get used to. I'm not sure where the reference to picking the highest paying load come from. I'd have to relook at the video again. I'm not catching where I said I'm picking the highest money loads. I'm not doing that. Not even close. But hey, it is what it is. So, if I said some things wrong that confuse some people, and maybe I didn't say it straight. I apologize. But it's just a YouTube channel. It's just me talking about what I'm doing, and right now, this is. I mean, to me, this is exactly the way I wanted it to be. I wanted control over what I did, and I have control over what I did. I can run these next 2 loads and take the next 3 days off if I want to. That would be nuts for me, especially learning and figuring this out. Right now, I'm not comfortable taking off a bunch of time. I know what I got to pay for, and I know what I got to, I know what I have to make to get to that point. It just is. So, again, yeah, I'm new. But I'm going to tell you one thing that I found with this company is the other drivers in the program. There's a couple that have made comments on my videos, and I appreciate it because they're trying to pass along knowledge. Knowledge is a good thing. I've asked questions of a few drivers in this program that I've run into out here. They've all been extremely helpful and more than willing to answer any question I have. So you do have support. And I'm sure a lot of other companies in their programs, they have the same driver support kind of a deal. But you do have support in this program because you have drivers that are out here that are willing to help. I mean, the guy I ran into at the receiver a couple videos ago, extremely helpful. Extremely helpful. I mean, this guy's even asking, hey, you need load straps? Hey, you need this? Hey, you need that? I mean, he was out here doing the job, and he'd been doing it a while, and I appreciate all the information he was able to share with me. And I've run into that quite often out here. I guarantee you right now, if there was another lease driver in this parking lot, and I didn't have to wake him up to ask him a question, and I went and asked him a question, I'm sure he'd be more than happy to help. Because one thing I have found, and I have heard multiple times, is it's a sink or swim kind of a deal. A lot of guys come into this, they don't make it. And I'm not saying at this point that I'm going to make it. But I'm going to try. And I'm going to do my best to do what I can do. If I can't make this work, that's on me. That's completely on me. And it'd be on anybody that would come here and do this program. Would you call it a failure? I wouldn't call it a failure if it didn't work out. I learned something. A lot of people have started multiple businesses that have failed before they had the one success. It's the nature of the thing. Some things, some people do well, and some things people don't do well. But I'm going to give it everything I got to make this happen. That means if I got to stay in this truck 7 days a week for the next 6 months, I guess that's what I got to do until I get it figured out. And that's just the way it is. But, I got a nice truck. It's been running good. Fuel mileage is awesome. Those things are not a big concern right at the moment. The concern is learning everything else. And that's what I got to do. And I know I got to do it. I'm not out here saying I suddenly know everything there is to know about operating my own truck, picking my own freight. I'm far from it. I've picked loads like that load in Indiana. It was a short run, paid decent. It was just a filler to put in to the pay week. And I really wished I wouldn't have picked that load. But I did. and I did it. And the reason I say that is because if I would have held off just a minute longer before I said yes to that load, there was another load that paid better, that went to an area I wanted to go to, and it would have worked better for me. But hey, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of those out here. I'm gonna hit a lot of those, don't, what was you thinking moments. It just is. I'm not under any illusion that this is like cake. I'm not out here eating cake. But hey, I appreciate all you guys' comments. I appreciate all you guys that subscribe. But I'm going to jump off here, and I'm going to start making preparations to go back to work. I appreciate you guys taking time. Be safe. We will talk to you.